Streatham Fencing Club is actually one of the oldest clubs around. It was actually formed in 1948 by a retiring squadron leader. Unfortunately, he set the club up and then he wanted a committee around it, and the committee took the club away from him. So in 1949, the club was formally formed. So we've been going nearly 60 years now. And during that time, I mean, we've done any number of things, both fencing, social events, overseas trips. I mean, the last overseas trip we did was to a fencing club in Prague. Prior to that, we've been to France. And we do all sorts of sort of other social events around that. And we also encourage people to fence competitively. So they fence locally in, say, the Surrey events. They might fence in London events. But they also fence in national open competitions. And one of the nice things about fencing is that you can go into it at quite a junior level. You know, somebody who's not very experienced, and fence people who are extremely experienced and still get something out of it. It's not something you have to be training for 5 years before you're allowed into these sort of competitions. You can go, you can try it, and it works. Well, fencing's one of those very easy sports to do. I mean, literally all you need to do is turn up with tracksuit bottoms and a pair of plimsolls trainers. That's basically it, loose clothing. We supply all the kit, we have all of the facilities that people need, and we have coaches. So fencing is one of those sports where people can actually fence competitively to quite a senior age. So in our club we have people from 14 to over 70. Fencing is actually one of those unusual sports because everybody has an idea. First of all, that it's difficult. Well, that's certainly true. It takes a long time to learn it. But it's also very easy to get kit. It's not particularly expensive. A couple of £100 will get you to a position where you can learn fencing, where you can progress a bit. If you want to do competitive fencing, then you need various bits. You need the overall metallized jacket. You need a foil which is connected up to the circuitry. But fundamentally, if you spend, say, £400, that's about the maximum you need to do immediately. That will get you to competitive level. And we don't expect people to buy that sort of kit for certainly the first year.
Take us through the weapons of each of the three disciplines, please.
Okay, Steve. What we've got here, we've got a foil, which is a thrusting weapon. The idea with the foil is it's like a big knitting needle, and the idea is that you're meant to stab through your opponent with it. The next weapon is an épée, which again is a thrusting weapon. It's different from the foil, and it's slightly larger and slightly heavier. And the idea behind the épée is it's a direct descendant of the dueling rapier or the small sword. In fact, épée is simply French for sword. Now, with the épée, although it again is just a thrusting weapon, because it's trying to recreate a duel, you can actually score with a point anywhere. If I stick you in the arm, in the shoulder, in the foot, everywhere is considered to be a valid target. That reflects the original idea of duels being first blood. I stab you in the arm, ouch. Fair enough, we'll stop there. Thanks very much. The third weapon is the sabre, which derives from the cavalry sabre. And with the sabre, as with the cavalry sabre, you can score with the point as a thrusting weapon, but you can also cut. And in fact, the primary characteristic of the sabre is that you score mostly with the cuts. Well, here in Streatham, we would assume that a fencer will come in and learn the basics of fencing with foil. Foil tends to encompass the practicalities of all three disciplines. It has the point control necessary for épée and for foil itself, but it has the concept of a limited target idea, which carries over to sabres.
Personally, it's kept me part of a sporting activity. I mean, I'm in my mid-50s. But you get a lot of young people who are looking for something that's going to be intrinsically valuable to them and will hold their attention. And that's the real hardest part, is to capture their attention and their interest. And with the historical background of this sport, there's a lot of interest going on this. If you go to fencing class and you study this sport, you cannot take your worries with you. It's impossible. So focusing on trying to make a hit on your opponent's target, defending yourself for movement, well, it's got everything there that you could possibly want. And it's a good indoor activity, so we don't have the weather to worry about. But I think that also getting dressed up into different kit and getting used to the kit, and you meet some interesting people and you make some friends.